President Trump sounding off on the progress made against Iran, while also warning about the threat Tehran's nuclear program posed to the world.
I think we're doing very well. We are letting people know about that. We're letting people know that, you know, it's wonderful to say everything's good, but you can't. If you had a country like that, and they're crazy, if you had a country like that, they would absolutely use the nuclear weapon without question. And so I stopped that, and I stopped it cold with the B-2 bombers.
Joining me now to discuss this is former NSC Chief of Staff under President Trump, Alex Gray. Alex, great to see you this morning. You know, we're calling this economic D-Day on Iran, isolating them, putting them in the corner, ramping up the economic pressure and sanctions to an extent they've never experienced before. But let's be honest, Alex, sanctions against Iran are nothing new. So should we be confident that they're going to work this time? Is there something different about this round of sanctions that we're talking about?
Well, Lydia, I think the biggest difference between now and a couple months ago is that President Trump has shown, contrary to Iran's expectation, contrary to media expectation, that he's not going to give in. He is not going to walk away, even if it's politically inconvenient in the United States. And people continue to forget, because Iran's an authoritarian dictatorship, because they can absorb a lot of pain, that doesn't change the fact that the U.S. blockade is working. It is doing exactly what it was intended to do. It is putting enormous pressure on Iran's economy. And their out has always been the assumption, propagated by many in the U.S., that President Trump would just cut and run as he got closer to November. And he has absolutely refused to do that. He is not going to allow Iran to try and run out the clock on us for the very reasons he mentioned in the clip you just showed.
I think you're absolutely right. You pointed out a number of great points there, Adam, and among them is that Iran's economy is absolutely in shambles. Inflation is skyrocketing. You have to wonder how much longer their economy can take this. Another point raised is by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. You know, he pointed out yesterday that this is also going to address other countries and businesses that are continuing to support Iran. They are now being put on notice. Let's listen to Scott Bessent. We'll talk about it on the other side.
This is going to be the greatest coordinated economic isolation in the history of the world. And we are going to them and saying, you're either with us or against us. You want this murderous regime to end. This will work. It worked in Venezuela once we put up the blockade. It is working in Cuba right now, and it is going to work in Iran, and we are going to collapse this regime.
So he's talking about a coordinated economic pressure, also going after countries that are doing business with Iran, like China. What could that mean for holding China to account here, Alex?
Yeah, Lydia, look, well, Scott Bessent's the best Treasury Secretary since Alexander Hamilton. He's incredibly good at this, and he's right. Contrary, again, to the media narrative, this year has been a huge economic setback for regimes like Russia and China, who have seen the U.S. cut off access to Venezuelan oil, have seen the United States crack down on sanctioned oil from other places. Aware that China's economy is not strong. Russia's economy is a basket case. Doing what we did in Venezuela, where we are restricting access to outside flows of cheap oil, is going to have a very real impact. The Chinese know how fragile their economy and their regime actually are, and they do not want to get into a situation where President Trump has additional leverage over them going into these discussions that he's having with Xi Jinping in September. So I think the Chinese are going to be very sensitive to what happens coming out of Iran and coming out of Scott Bessent and President Trump's economic warfare.
I think you're right. We're already seeing some of those chips fall into place. The UAE, as you know, just this week said they're going to end trade with Iran.
Fox News is a major American multinational conservative news and political commentary television channel and website based in New York City. Owned by Fox Corporation, it is one of the most watched cable news networks in the United States. Overview and operations. Launch and purpose. Launched in October 1996 by media mogul Rupert Murdoch and former CEO Roger Ailes, the network was created to appeal to a conservative audience. Programming. It provides 24-hour news coverage, breaking news updates, business reports, and heavy opinion and commentary programming during primetime hours. Popular programs include Fox and Friends, Special Report, and commentary shows hosted by figures like Sean Hannity, Jesse Waters, and Laura Ingraham. Accessibility. Viewers can access Fox News via cable television, its official website, streaming apps like Fox News and Fox Nation, and international streaming services. Editorial stance and reception. Political alignment. Fox News is widely recognized for its conservative editorial stance and a history of pro-Republican commentary. impact and controversy. While it boasts a massive loyal viewership and consistently high ratings, it has often been a subject of criticism from media watchdogs and political opponents regarding its reporting bias, commentary style, and adherence to journalistic standards. Are you looking for specific information regarding Fox News, such as a recent news story, a